Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Man, it's been a great ride. 6 seniors, welcome to go out there, great group. And the goal was to make this thing last as long as possible. And we're to that point now, but the job's still not done. Guys have been cut in. I think our seniors understand the job's not done. Just want to send these guys out the right way, and thankful we get the opportunity.
I feel like the goals this year were a lot more specific. We wanted to score a certain amount of points, or we didn't want to allow a certain amount of points. And of course, we want to go win a state championship. You can say it out loud, but to actually go ahead and go do it is a whole other thing.
We don't pay any attention to it. We've navigated it really well the last 2 weeks when everybody was trying to stuff it down our throat of what it was, and all our kids did is go out and play and win 2 big games.
In simplest terms, pride. Why would you put all this work in and not finish strong? Why cheat yourself? Put up the effort needed. Winning 8 games, it will be an achievement.
The Chiefs are one of the top 3 defenses in the National Football League, and they might not be 3. They're right there with the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. They're that good. And I don't think enough people are paying attention. We hit the panic alarm when it comes to what we're seeing from the Chiefs offense.
Motion by Kraft to the left, snap to Love. Lost the left side of the end zone. Over the shoulder catch. Touchdown, Christian Watson. Yes, they make the Lions pay.
2nd and 10. It's a Dallas 43. Howell's back, throws it. Picked off. It's Bland. It's Bland. He's got one man to beat at the 20. He cuts left. He breaks the tackle at the 10. He did it again.
Ayuk, they're going to motion, use check out left. Purdy going to throw. Throws back right. Wide open Ayuk. Touchdown. San Francisco.
Ayuk. Ayuk. Ayuk is on fire.
Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. Welcome into the Friday Sports Day show here on KVGB, live from the Mayo Money Management Studios. I tell you what, boys, it has been a long week. I am so thankful that the weekend is here, boys.
Working 1 day a week is just stressing you out, isn't it?
It is. It's just way too much for me.
Just think how good this episode's going to be. He's had all
week to build up to
it. All week to be.
I've got a whole
week
of stuff to cover to.
That means no guest, right? We're just going to be Webby and Aaron talking back and forth?
No.
Oh, okay.
We've got a loaded show today.
Okay, good.
People aren't ready for that show
Barton
yet.
men's basketball coach Jeremy Combs will be in. They picked up a route at Pratt on Tuesday and heading to Concordia tomorrow. That's what the schedule says, as they will look to remain unbeaten against Cloud County. Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel, gets us ready for tomorrow's state championship football games, and Aaron Clark will be talking Great Bend Lady Panther basketball with Cindy Beck. So let's get to our sounds the past 24 hours or so, and there have been some changes due to the pending winter weather. Now, I saw one of the meteorologist fellers last night say, don't get too panicked about this. We're going to get a lot of snow, but it's going to come kind of straight down, and it's going to be the heavy snow. So it'll be like one of those Hallmark Christmas shows, where it's always snowing all the time.
It's just going to launch people into more Christmas music in earlier.
But there is going to be some snow, so here's what Case has come up with, and keep an eye on this. 3A, 2A, 1A, and 6-player games. Six-man football. Thank you, Hesher. I knew you were going to
Who wrote
crazy.
that?
I don't know. They will kick at noon, so that means Hoisington and Nemaha Central tomorrow on 100.7. Eagle Country rolls at 11:30 from Salina. Now, 8-man, they have 2 games tomorrow. The Division I game between Wichita County and Linden starts at 10:30. I don't know if there's enough time because there's going to be like 200 points scored in this game. I don't know if they'll be able to get the Division II game underway at 2 o'clock. We will wait and see. 6A, 5A, 4A remain at 1 o'clock, but again, continue to monitor the situation. Now, here in Great Bend, we're expecting 4 to 8 inches is what the latest report is. Salina, they are looking at 4 to 6. So most of that's going to start early tomorrow morning. So that's going to be an interesting factor in this game.
The field crew at Salina Stadium is going to have their hands full. Field crews all over the state, potentially.
Well, field crews if they get enough time, but they don't like to get equipment out on those fields. The 3A state championship game, it's 2016. They were playing ankle. It was ice. So I don't think there'll be ice. We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, sounds the past 24 hours or so. That's Zach Baird, team back in the state championship game. This time they're going to see if they can come up with a win against Nemaha Central. I was in Seneca on Sunday of last week. And, of course, what do you do in a town like, I'm going to go by and look at their football field. It's like right on the highway, Highway 36, the most successful high school football highway in the state. So I drove in there, and you drive around the corner, and I thought about going out and just cutting some kitties in the middle of the field, right? Wouldn't that be cool?
Just for old time's sake.
But the gate was shut. So I wish I would have had a Cardinal sticker and just go plant it right on there. Wouldn't that have been great?
Would have potentially put some targets on some backs of maybe who done it. I don't know if you would have been at the top of the suspect list, but
wouldn't that be up in Seneca? Yeah, well, I wonder where did the Cardinals sticker come from?
Because that's another town that high school football means a lot. Like those communities get behind it a lot, like Hoisington does. And that would have been fun if you had a Cardinal sticker. It would have been perfect opportunity.
It would have been perfect. But anyway, that's the opponent tomorrow. Tony Moore, closing out an unbelievable career, and knows it's time to prove it on the field. But, man, to have a chance to play for a state championship, I never had that chance. That's got to be pretty amazing.
And they've earned it every step of the way. There's a lot of questions about how good their schedule was in the regular season, and throughout it, Coach Baird had the same response every time. You can only play who's on your schedule. And they were putting convincing wins on teams, and then they get to the playoffs, and they have to come up against top-tier, tremendous defenses, just one right after another, and the point total just keeps dropping lower and lower. It goes from 10 points to 9 points, now down to something like 5 points, but every step of the way, Hoisington's offense has proven that they're able to move the ball, score points, whether it's on the ground with Taryn Kraft, with just nose to the grindstone, powerful running, or get Tony Moore dropping back, throwing it to guys like Jason Robinson, Mason Alderdice.
They got
Mason
better
Martin.
as the season's, especially at the end. They turned it up a gear once they got into the postseason.
Once they had to unleash it, and Coach Baird kind of hinted at they were kind of wanting to not throw the ball as much as they maybe could have in the regular season. That way it maybe did catch people off guard, and I think it has been. Tony Moore's been showing he can shoulder that kind of passing responsibility in big games and still make plays in the run game. Showing, we've talked about it a couple of times, doesn't always look like the fastest player on this field, but he gets to an edge and just no one can catch him. It's really this impressive athleticism from the senior quarterback.
It's going to be interesting tomorrow because how well they get the field. Because I think that's the thing that's made the difference with this Hoiston team. Their big playability. Will that be hampered if it's slushy, icy? I don't know. But the scenario for this game, and I'll talk to Connor Nickel about this, is the same, right? Oh, we're going against a powerful Southeast, and I don't know if you can get anything. The game's going to be 4-2. It's going to be nothing but safeties. Well, that wasn't a problem. They scored 49. Then you got that Norton defense, which has been nails all year. They put up 30 on them. Of course, that was a nice play interception return when Norton got greedy at the end of the first half, which I wasn't here on Monday to talk about that. And they scored 23, right? Because they had a pick six for a touchdown right on the last play of the half.
Incredible awareness from Jason Robinson, knowing it's not go down and then offense has a chance to score.
That's going back to
Sorry,
that's Monday's show.
I thought we were still talking about that.
No, I'm just saying the scenario's the same, and now they go into the immovable object. Nemaha Central. And you look at their stats, Nemaha. Was it Bass, Holton Bass? Now, Hayek, the quarterback, has accounted for 51 touchdowns this year. He's rushed for 41. He's passed for 10. And he also has 6 interceptions. and he's returned 2 of those to the house, so 51 touchdowns. Their offense is very simple. They line up behind a big offensive line. He'll roll to the left. He rolls to the right. It's quarterback run. He's averaging 181 yards per ball game. I'm not saying he's a one-man show because that offensive and defensive line are big. This is a fascinating matchup.
It's going to be, and I think the weather really helps play into that matchup because Hoisington's been using that pass game a little more in the postseason. So now if they can get back to that Cardinal ball that we've seen in the past years that is just on the ground, 4 yards in cloud of dust, breaking off those plays when they can. But Hayek, the quarterback for Nemaha Central, like you said, don't want to call him a one-man show because he's certainly got supporting cast with some big bodies in front of him. But for such a young player, he's only a sophomore.
Car repair bill.
He's only a sophomore, and he's able to make those plays, like you said, accounting for over 50 touchdowns. It's just, if they can stop him, it'll be big. A lot of pressure on the young quarterback from Nemaha Central, but thus far, he's kind of lived up to it.
He's a big guy, too. I mean, he's not some little scrawny sophomore.
Doesn't look like a sophomore.
No. So, yeah, but it's Hoiston's year. You just got to think, this is time.
You can't feel too bad going into a game with what you've seen from Hoisington these past couple weeks. They've been up against tremendous opponents, and they found ways to win. They found ways to score. They found ways to make plays in special teams, on defense, getting turnovers and making big margins that way, getting points, getting swings in their favor on defense. And I just think the way the Cardinals have been playing in the postseason, it's hard to feel bad going into any game, regardless of who they're lining up against.
Yeah, we'll talk more about the matchup coming up with Connor Nickel here later on in this program. But, yeah, it's a classic matchup. The other matchups, Emporia 6A, Gardner Edgerton against Derby, Mill Valley against Capon in 5A, St. Thomas Aquinas, Andover Central in 4A. Hayden and Cheney, 2 unbeaten teams, go at it in 3A. 1A, Jefferson County North, taking on Conway Springs, who I believe lost their first 2 games of the year. Linden against Wichita County, and the 10:30 kickoff in Newton. That's a Division I game. South Central, I denied them ever since they pounded Kinsley. I said, how do they do that? They got beat by South Barber the week before by 20. Well, they haven't lost since.
It was a wake-up call.
But, again, Axtell, another Highway 36 game, or Highway 36 team. It's just off the beaten path just a little bit there.
There's just something in the car exhaust on Highway 36 to make some good.
This would be a good thing for you to do this weekend when you think about football. Just go back and figure out the number of state football championships that Highway 36 has compared to others.
Get a nice little comparison there.
Yeah.
Especially depending on how long Highway 36 is compared to some others.
Well, you start in St. Francis, and then you keep just going across there. You got Norton Smith Center. You've got Atwood.
That's already going to have a couple just with those 3 you named.
Sabetha. Yeah, they just keep going across there. Oh, Baileyville B&B. Yeah, there's a few of them. Okay, there's your high school football. College football tomorrow. Kansas State, they need some help. They will be taking on Iowa State. Kickoff at 7. Be a pleasant night at the Bill, won't it? So they do need some help. College football underway today. They're not getting any help. Oklahoma beating TCU 42-13. And Texas plays Texas Tech tonight. So here are your scenarios. Okay. Oklahoma remains in contention with either a win or a loss against TCU. Texas will clinch both a berth to the championship and a number 1 seed with a win over Tech. If Texas wins and clinches a berth on Friday, the following scenarios apply surrounding Big 12 matchups on Saturday. If Oklahoma State beats BYU, the Cowboys clinch a berth to the championship as the number 2 seed. If Oklahoma defeats TCU on Friday and that win is followed by a Texas win and an Oklahoma State loss, the Sooners clinch a berth. If Kansas State defeats Iowa State tomorrow, following a Texas win and a loss by Oklahoma and a loss by Oklahoma State, the Cats. And then, those are the changes that
looks like
the rule changes that were made at the end of the season. So
I believe at this point, K-State needs Texas to lose tonight to Texas Tech because Oklahoma already won.
Yeah,
and that'll be tough. Is that in Arlington?
The TCU game,
the Texas Tech and Texas game.
Well, Texas is in Austin.
Austin, my bad.
Yeah,
Not
okay,
Arlington. I apologize. My bad. I had the wrong Texas A-town.
Yeah, it is in Austin tonight.
At least I don't have to go down to weird Lubbock.
Okay, Lance Leipold, KU could win their 8th game tomorrow, go to a bowl game, win their 9th. You look at the games they've lost; they've all been close games. But they play at Cincinnati tomorrow night, 6:30 for the coverage on Hits 106.9. All right. Chris Canty believes the Chiefs, if the Chiefs make a deep run, it may be the defense doing the heavy lifting, you think. What was the blowback from, besides the fact that Chief receivers can't catch the football? They outplayed Philadelphia. They were the best team. It was, but then you'd have dumb turnovers, hang on to the football. Travis Kelce.
That was probably the biggest part. You didn't have the reliability of Travis Kelce in those moments. A lot of times earlier in this season, even we saw the wide receiving core kind of struggle with drops, and Kelce be that steady target that Mahomes could still go to. Against the Eagles, though, he had that drop. It was tough. A crucial
Tyreek
drop on
Hill
third
is
down.
the one that came out. He said, just follow Travis Kelce around, and that's where he was triple teamed on the play that the worst pass I've seen Patrick Mahomes interception in the end zone.
That's
what they're covering. I mean, that's what Kelce was talking about. Well, it's pretty simple. He just kind of goes out, turns around, and finds an open slot. Well, it's hard to do that
when there's three guys around.
Two guys around.
But it's also pretty telling of where Mahomes' confidence is in those younger receivers, maybe. Just in the red zone, he still wants to go to Kelce, even though he's triple-teamed. He'd rather try that chance rather than maybe trust a guy like Rashee Rice, who did look pretty good at times yesterday as well, or last time they played against Philadelphia as well. But I don't know. It's tough.
Rashee Rice has got to be the guy that
he needs to step. I mean, he's showing those flashes with it. He can make people miss. He doesn't quite have the shiftiness of Tyreek Hill, but that's just a whole other level.
He can run through some tackles.
He can get some momentum going.
All right, and then a full day of Thanksgiving. You said the only football you missed was when you're loading up your Thanksgiving plate. So was that the entire first quarter, or was it?
That was I think I was there with about 9 minutes in the third quarter. So I missed probably the first 6 or so of the second half.
Okay. Call on WTMJ. Jordan Love passes to Christian Watson for 16 yards, a touchdown, gave the Packers a 29-14 lead over the Lions. Detroit gets beat 29-20. They tried giving that game away. They had a pick, ball that was ruled a fumble, not a pass. It was picked up, and then the next series, ball just drops out on the ground, so they win. The Cowboys looked good yesterday. The 105.3 The Fan, Deron Bland intercepts it, returns it 63 yards for a touchdown. He's got 5 pick sixes this year, an NFL record. That's one more touchdown than what Travis Kelce has this season.
It's more than a couple crazy names. It's more than a guy like Saquon Barkley has, which is a running back you might expect to put him up. But even a guy on the Cowboys' own team, CeeDee Lamb, their leading receiving touchdown, he only has 6. And Dak Prescott's been trying to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb in the end zone this year. Assumingly, the opposing quarterbacks haven't been trying to throw it to Deron Bland and let him get to the end zone. So just a crazy performance from Deron Bland this year.
And then finally the call on KNBR. Brock Purdy completes 28 yards to Brandon Ayuk. Nope. I was going to play that back, but anyway, we need to get going here. We've got a packed show. Connor Nichols on, Jeremy Combs waiting in the green room right now very patiently, and Cindy Beck, all part of Sports Day here on KVGB.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician Program.
Oh, I hate
Gain the
that.
skills you need to assist
that.
pharmacists
Screws
with
me
the
when I'm
day-to-day
recording
demands of
stuff
a
back
pharmacy.
at my,
Classes are 100% online
computer.
and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at farmtech.bartonccc.edu.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Zach Stride, commercial lender for Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people. I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. At Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
The tradition continues. It's Black Friday at Bauer Computers. Come see Chase at 10th and Jackson and Great Bend. It is the place to be today, and the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree. You have until 5 p.m. to get signed up. You never know. You could be spending $10,000 all before Christmas. Hey, check out this Black Friday deal Chase has going on. Receive 40% off on all pre-owned laptops today. Come on in. Check out the selection. If you're looking for a great stocking stuffer idea, charger cords for all types of phones. If you have a cracked screen, that doesn't mean you just have to toss it. Chase can repair most models on the spot. Don't forget to ask about a screen protector, too. He'll even put that on for you. Having trouble with your laptop or desktop? Stop in, and Chase will take a look at that as well. He can diagnose the issue for you. It's your technology headquarters. Remember, you have until 5 o'clock today to stop in and get signed up. In the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating, and Air, your Bryant dealer. It's Black Friday, and there are deals at Bauer Computers.
It's time to talk Barton Cougar basketball with the head coach, Jeremy Combs, on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back to Sports Day here on KVGB. Show brought to you in part by Eller Automotive Repair, a local mechanic that can help behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source. Also in part by Venture Corporation, reminding you to help a neighbor, shop local when you can. Head coach Jeremy Combs joining us. The 8th-ranked Barton Cougars remain unbeaten. Also, Hutch native Miles Thompson is in on the show today. Welcome in, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
How did were you able to go home, Miles, for Thanksgiving? Or?
Yeah, we practiced on Wednesday morning, so we practiced, and then I went home. A couple from the other guys came with me.
I was going to say if it had some people pile in with you.
Yeah, we had, I want to say, five guys. So it was good. It's good. Like, a lot of my family members come, and my parents know those guys pretty well. But when my other family members show up and they get to talk with those guys, and we all just hang out, and it's fun. We had a good time. So then we made it back last night. We had just a little practice at 8. So it was we got to spend a decent amount of time at home, and then we made it back. So.
Okay, so right back at it. Yeah. So, all right, you've got to go to Concordia tomorrow. Tell me how this works, because this is it. Does the commissioner agree on these? Because there's certain things when they want to make up a game, it could really affect one team more than the other. How do these high-level negotiations go?
Yeah, so it goes to the 2 athletic directors will get together and kind of talk about it, and then basically, I mean, it comes down to whether or not we can get there or not, and if we want to chance it. So, I mean, they'll talk about that, and if not, then it's supposed to be rescheduled, like, for the next available day. So it would definitely be on Sunday when we play again.
Okay, so they wouldn't push it back to some Monday? And
No, it'll just be probably Sunday.
Well, I like
Sunday
that,
Sunday looks pretty clear, so.
Yeah, because you've been to some of those, all of a sudden these games start stacking up all of a sudden, and
right.
Yeah, you get 5 games in 1 week. So 98, or you come into the game, you blew Pratt out at the Beaver Dome.
It's a good one.
That was fun.
It was a good one. Yeah, we played well and kind of jumped on them early, and then just kind of it snowballed on them.
Tell me about the pass.
Well, I mean, it's Moses, I've always said he's one of the best passers I've ever coached, and he can see the floor really well, and he threaded the needle pretty well right to Leger, and he was able to dunk it. So.
Yeah, Aaron came running down as soon as you posted that. He was showing me today, so that was. What's it mean to just go on the road and rout somebody on their home court?
Well, I mean, it's a good feeling anytime you're beating somebody pretty good, and you can kind of sit back and just coach and work on some other things. But obviously to do it there was big. And I mean, they've got a good team. They're talented. And so to be able to do that on their floor was, like I said, it's good. But on the same token, it's not going to happen every night. We can't expect that, when you go on the road. I mean, they always say protect your house and steal some on the road. And so if you're walking away with a 2, 3, 4 point win on the road, that's a good deal.
Yeah, it's kind of what we talked about when you were here last week. Sometimes, we didn't beat them by 12. We still got the win. So
right, yeah. And in this team, I mean, we're against Division I schools. We're averaging 24-point wins right now this season on 7 of the games that we played, and we can't expect that every night. And obviously in our conference, as much of a grind as it is, we've got to find ways to win. And that's why I think the North Platte game was so important. Went up there and ended up finding a way to win by 3, and it was a close one, and I think we needed that.
Miles, it's always you hear coaches going into, oh no, we're going to it's a Thanksgiving game, or it's a last game before the Christmas break, and every coach in America says, oh man, I don't know if my guy's going to be focused. You guys were focused. Talk about that, going down to Pratt on Tuesday and getting ready to play a road conference game and come out and play like you did. What was the kind of focus going into that?
I just think our group, we're mature. We get it. We knew they were a talented group, and we knew that they would come out and be ready to go and want to push us, and they did. I mean, they were ready to play. We were locked in, and we were able to jump on them early, and just kind of stay on them throughout the game. I just think that we knew what we had to do. Almost everybody, I mean, we have a ton of sophomores. Almost everyone on our team has experienced that. And honestly, I want to say the last 2 years I've been here, and last year we've lost that game. So right before the Thanksgiving break. So I think everyone knows what that feels like. You don't want to drop you don't want to drop a game like that, and feel like man, how do we lose that game, when you look back on it. So, yeah.
You do have there's a lot of sophomores back, guys, that you played with. And it's kind of, I don't know how to really ask this because what are some of the intangibles, Miles, that you have when you played so many games with other guys? And then, of course, you add in some freshmen this year.
When you first show up, when we first show up for the year, I think it's more just, being comfortable with each other, more we kind of all know what each other wants to do, and then now that we're playing, I think it's more we've all been through the grind of what the schedule is, what the conference is. So I think now it's not, no one's really learning that anymore. It's more we're together, we understand, and now it's we can take these few, because we have some talented guys that also came in for their first year, so now we can, push them. We know what it takes, and, right now I think that's what's helped some of our freshmen play so well. We've had some freshmen that have really stepped up when we've needed them, and I think that's been important as well.
That was a great job of describing that, because it's a hard question to ask. It's a hard question to explain to, or an answer to explain that. You're getting in these conference road games now. This, I think, is a veteran guy, a Kansas kid, that would be my most enjoyable time. We're headed to Liberal and seeing those guys think that they're, that the world is flat and they're going to fall off the edge of the earth. Just to watch the new guys coming out to, where in the world am I at?
Yeah. It's you drive on some of these trips, and there's nothing between here and when we get there. So it definitely you get some funny comments from guys.
Oh yeah, and you can be like a tour guide too. Say, hey, Montezuma's coming up, man. You got to see this wind farm. You drive right through the middle of it. So, Miles, you've played really, really good this year. Kind of talk about your play and how you've been ready to assume a leadership role on this team on this year's ball club.
I'd say, obviously I'm comfortable here. I'm comfortable, with Coach and with a lot of the guys, and really I just like I saw this thing. It was like reps were moved out, and so that was kind of my main focus is in the off season. Just I just worked a lot on stuff that I felt that I needed to get better at, and obviously last year I was out, so that time period was big for me. But it really has been pretty easy for me to come in here and play, just because my teammates are so talented and they make things so easy for me. So no, I still think that it's early and there's a lot of things I can do better. I can play a lot better than I am right now. I don't think that I've shot the ball as well as I probably can and some other things, but no, it's been a good start, and I'm blessed to be able to have teammates that make the game so easy and we can just get out there and go. But yeah,
that's probably the part of this next question. What do you like about this team?
I mean, obviously I like that we have so many good players, but I like the fact that we're so close as a group. Sometimes it's hard to get that. We have a lot of guys from different backgrounds, but no, I just like I love the unselfishness of the group, the way all the guys want to play. We play fast. Guys want to. We have super talented players, but they want to defend. They want to play defense and get out and go, and that's what Coach asks of us too. So it's just this team is. It's just a fun group to play with. We can roll the ball out there, and we know each other, and we just we can get out there and go and play basketball. So
you don't even need to come anymore if you don't
That's
want
what
to.
I'm saying. Yeah, it's all right.
Because that is an interesting dynamic. How do you describe? We've got a lot of guys back. Well, what does that mean? But I thought he explained it well when you have.
It is. I mean, the leadership. The guys know. I mean, it's funny when you walk into an arena and they know where they're going.
Yeah,
some of the guys
nice.
Where are we supposed to go? And you got all these sophomores that are like, right over here, guys. This is where we're going. So they know what it's about, and they're hungry. And obviously, they went through it. Last year where they fell short, and then what we went through with Miles last year. And having to sit out the whole year, and so now obviously that made him hungrier, and he had a great off season, and it just made us better.
Think you'll play tomorrow?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'd rather play tomorrow than
put it
Sunday,
off another day.
but
It just throws everything off the next week.
Yep.
What about Cloud?
They're a good team. They're the number one defensive team in the conference. One of the other teams in the conference is undefeated, and they'll be hungry to take us down. Obviously, we're always going to have that a bullseye on our back, and told the guys we're always going to get everybody's best game, because they're never going to overlook us right now. So we've got to be ready to go, and obviously playing up there is a tough place to play. I don't know the name of the facility, but it is tough,
It's the T-Bird Dome.
T-Bird Dome. It's but anyway, it's always tough to play up there, and so we'll and then you kind of get some Nebraska referees and different things like that. So the game's called just a little bit different than it usually is, and we'll just have to make adjustments, but it should be a good one.
I love both of you guys being here because the Salt Hawks come to Great Bend this year. Who wins?
oh man.
Who are you picking? Who are you picking, the Salt Hawks or Carter?
Yeah, see, that's tough. I mean, this year I think it's gonna be a good game. I mean, from what I've seen, Great Bend has some. This is probably the best team that Great Bend's had since I've been here. I mean, Carter's a senior now, Maddox is a senior, and they have a couple guys that were freshmen last year that played. So no, it'll be a good game because
who wins? Salt Hawks or Carter?
It'll be a good one. That's all. I'll just leave it there. I think I know Coach will have the Salt Hawks ready, so they'll play hard. So we'll see what happens when they come here.
Thanks, Coach Thompson. I really appreciate that. Good stuff, guys. If you play tomorrow, hopefully you do. Go get a win. Travel safe, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Miles.
Thank you.
We'll have more Sports Day coming up.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
You don't have to be a pro to capture memories this holiday season. At Nextech Wireless, get the latest phones to share those precious moments. For a limited time, get the new iPhone 15 or Samsung Galaxy S23 on us. Nextech Wireless, home on the range.
It's Friday, and that means game day in the Golden Belt. To help us prime the pump, Sports Day brings you Sunflower Sports Solutions, Connor Nickel.
Connor Nickel with us here on Sports Day today as we are going to put a bow on the 2023 high school football season tomorrow, albeit with some weather involved. But Connor Nickel, Sunflower Sports Solutions, joining us here on the show, brought to you by BP Clean Ride. And if you're a Houston Cardinal fan, or maybe a Nemaha Central fan, you want to go to Sunflower Sports Solutions. A lot on this game tomorrow in Salina, Connor.
Yeah, there certainly is, and I think that if you were to rank the 9 games tomorrow in terms of just intrigue and compelling storylines, the 8-man Division I game and the 2A game, I think, are heading up that list. So this should be a really fascinating matchup. You know, you've got the number 1 offense in 2A in the Cardinals, then you've got NC's defense, which is not only number 1 in 2A in defense, they are number 1 in the state in defense, and since the Smith Center team in 2007, they are number 3 for all 11-man teams in defense. So Coach Glatzik has had an experienced defensive coordinator now for a while. Holden Bass is going to be a consensus top 11 lineman. He's been a 3-time All-State lineman. They've got the dual threat quarterback, well over 2,000 yards on the ground. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. I've said since August that Hoisington's been my pick in 2A, and they've been obviously had a really impressive season. But they've done a couple of things the last couple of weeks that maybe they didn't do in some of their, more blowout wins. That I think that's been really impressive here recently.
Okay, now I don't think Salina is forecast for maybe as much snow as we are here in central Kansas. So it's going to be the big story tomorrow. It is on an artificial surface, but we saw a few years ago, if there's a lot of snow, that's not going to really matter too much as far as being able to get it cleared off. So sloppy, slick track, who's that favor?
Yeah, and I remember, and actually you bring up the Salina surface in particular. So it was 15 or 16. It was one of the years when Phillipsburg won one of their state games here in Hayes. That was when the ice storm came across Kansas, and Rossville and Holcomb. Actually, I'm serious. It was Holcomb and Holton. It was a 4A game, a 4A Division II game. That was played on this turf at Salina, basically on ice, and it was like a 21-6 game. I think that if the conditions are not ice tomorrow, we should be okay. Again, to me, it comes down to, can Hoisington's offensive line match up with NC's great front, and can Hoisington make plays in space?
Yep.
The NC quarterback is so dynamic, much in the way that Omari Elias is for Capon. He's going to get his. But what happens on the other plays when he doesn't have the ball, particularly when Hoisington is on offense? And if Hoisington with Alderdice and Ian Smith and Kraft and obviously Tony Moore are able to make some plays in space and get that defensive line to not just clog everything up, then I think Hoisington has a real shot tomorrow to win it.
Yeah, I do too, and that's the big play factor that Houston has used this year that's been unlike any other Cardinal team that we've seen in the past. They can go the big play at any time. You can shut them down 9 plays in a row, and then they're going to score on a big play. That would be the thing. Hopefully they'll make snowmen out there and make sure that is a fast track tomorrow. So you picked Houston in the preseason. Doesn't sound like you're changing.
No, I'm not. I'm going to pick the Cardinals. I think it's going to be within score. I think most people around the state are picking NC to win tomorrow in a kind of a grinded out game. But Hoisington's the best. They're the best offense in 2A. But NC played some non-2A teams earlier this year. I truly believe Hoisington's the best offense NC has seen all season long.
Yeah,
and they've played at Holton. The Big Seven is just so ground and pound, heavy run teams, and they have not seen the Hoisington offense. And I go back to one play in the Southeast game where it was Hoisington had the ball roughly at midfield, and Southeast defensive line came up. There was a good block there up front, but everything got squeezed in, and Tony Moore ran it correctly. And all of a sudden, he pops outside, and it's a 44-yard run. Tony Moore, the last 2 games, I think has carried the ball 31 times, and that's going to be key tomorrow. If Taryn Kraft can get his and just kind of get some consistency, but if Tony Moore can create some plays with his legs. The other thing too is that when they beat Southeast to seal that game, Tony Moore hit Ian Smith on a pass late. And I asked Coach Baird about that, and he had a huge smile on his face. I mean, he loves these seniors. He loves Ian Smith, who's played multiple positions. Because we trusted, I'm paraphrasing here, but we trusted Ian Smith to make a catch with the game on the line. And then Ian Smith caught 2 passes against Norton. Ian Smith has 5 catches this season, and 3 are in the past 2 weeks. I think Ian Smith could make a big play tomorrow.
Isn't it the same scenario we've been talking about? Southeast, their front, their defense is, that's can Hoiston move. And Norton, they're huge. Their defense has been good. They put up 30 on them. So here we go again. Same storyline going into this one against Nemaha Central.
Yeah, and I think it really is that the NC front has been so acclaimed for so long, and obviously they do not have the passing attack that Southeast had. Now they've got an incredible running quarterback. And again, give Holden Bass in that line all his props. I mean, Holden Bass might be the best lineman in Kansas. He's a little bit too small for Division I, FCS level. I know Northwest Missouri State was really high on him. He's already committed there. And I think he's going to have a great college career. But he's going to finish his career with 300+ tackles, 50+ for loss. He is a legitimately great player. But at the same token, I think Hoisington has great players on their side too.
Okay, that game will kick at noon tomorrow, and continue to look at any alterations to the schedule. There are 2 other games featuring unbeaten teams, and Connor, I'll just have you pick a winner here, and which I know you already have. 3A at Hutchinson, Hayden 12-0 against 12-0 Cheney, the magicians of the comeback. What do you think about this one?
I think Cheney wins. Credit Hayden, who's come back from injuries throughout the season. Hayden's really fast, but Cheney finds a way here. 110-102,
that's the score I've got. And I'm going to go with I'll go with Wichita County with the 110. It's track meet in Newton tomorrow morning. That thing kicks at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I've actually got Linden as a slight favorite. As great as WC has been, Linden's offense is incredibly explosive. The most statistically explosive 8-man offense in at least the last 5 years in terms of yards per play. But I completely agree. We're going to see 100-plus points tomorrow. Easy 100-plus points tomorrow in Newton.
Okay, the other 8-man game, South Central, I didn't believe it when they beat Kinsley. Then they just kept rolling, and I didn't believe it when they took care of Victoria after falling behind early. Now they get Axtell, 12-0 against South Central. One of the great stories in Kansas football this year, and now South Central gets an unbeaten Axtell team, Connor.
Yeah, South Central reminds me so much of TCU last year in college. Credit them. They put in new systems. They took about Game 5. Coach Westrup said everything clicked against Kinsley. I thought they played about as good as they could have played against Victoria. Very similar to how good TCU played against Michigan last year. Then TCU faced Georgia, and that happened. I think Axtell is a significant favorite tomorrow.
Yeah, another team up on Highway 36. Okay, 1A in Hayes, Conway Springs. The sky was falling early in the year, and then they've just gone on a run. They're 10-2. Jefferson County North, 11-1. What do you think?
JCN, best season in school history. Conway Springs will have the best player on the field. Talking about best players today, and Braden Coons, top 11 all classes pick, well over 2,000 yards again. He's going to tote it 30 times tomorrow. Conway wins.
Okay, and another team that's been kind of like Andover Central. They were good, then they weren't as good, and then they got good again, then they weren't as good, and there they are in the state championship game, taking on St. Thomas Aquinas, a battle between two 9-3 teams.
Unbelievable job. What Coach Tuttle does every single year, they play a lot of 5A AA teams. They have outperformed preseason poll expectations better than any team in Kansas. I went back and looked over the last 5 years. They've made 4 state championship games. They've been ranked in the top 5 in preseason in one of those years. So it's really amazing what they do. They've got an amazing staff, excellent special teams, superb kicker, return games, really good. Aquinas has been banged up. If Aquinas is healthy, they should win. But if they're missing one of their 2 really key backs in Coach Drowling's offense, and if Andover Central can get some big plays on special teams, it could flip. But I think Aquinas pulls away here and wins.
Can Capen outscore another team? This time they get Mill Valley in 5A state championship game at Pittsburgh.
Unbelievable game. The game of the year last week. Mill Valley beats Blue Valley Southwest on the final play of the game when Blaine, their quarterback, dives into the end zone. Coach Appleby, 6-0 all-time in state title games. Most state titles without a loss of any coach in Kansas history. Mill Valley has ran the ball more this year than any other season under coach. Capen runs the ball all the time, but I think Mill Valley, a little bit more battle-tested, and has been here before, gets a close win.
Gardner Edgerton back to the top of 6A football, taking on a Derby team that's kind of been overlooked all year, and they'll meet in Emporia for the 6A crown.
Yeah, Gardner obviously was 1 yard away from a state championship last year. They were wanting to get back. The thing with Derby though, Coach Clark's son is healthy at quarterback and is back. This is a sneaky close game, but I truly believe Derby wins. They've got a great kicker, and having Coach Clark's son healthy at quarterback has made a pronounced difference. Derek Hubbard is also a great back. Derby has no incredible standout like they've had in some previous years. This year they're a little bit more balanced, but their offense is still really, really explosive.
Cunningham, the defending champion in 6-man, 11-1 this year, and their only loss came to the team that Bird City Cheyenne just routed last week. So Cheyenne and Cunningham out in Dodge City.
Yeah, Cheyenne, number 1 offense in 6-man. Cunningham could break their own 6-man scoring defensive record from last year. Cunningham has been a little banged up. Shiloh has an incredible senior class, the most decorated senior class in the history of the school that dates back to 1975. They pull away in the second half tomorrow, and they win, I would say, like a 42-22 type of game.
Where are you going to be tomorrow?
Salina. As long as the weather clears or holds, I guess, or doesn't change drastically, Everett, Royer, and I will be in Salina tomorrow, pending weather.
Thanksgiving was yesterday, but really Thanksgiving, the feast is tomorrow. All these state championship football games. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, South Central plays Hoisington in the first round of the Katy Classic. That'll be the battle of the two teams in the state that have the least preparation for their basketball game. That'll be
That's right.
Yeah, looking up. Hey, Connor,
That's
thanks
right.
a bunch. You have a great weekend. Travel safe tomorrow, okay?
Hey, Steve, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right, the one and only Connor Nickel with us, Sunflower Sports Solutions. He's going to be with us all years. We turn to basketball next week, but great rundown of all the state championship games taking place tomorrow. Be sure you check GreatBendPost.com for the latest game time changes, if there are any more. It'll be right there for you. We'll have more. Cindy Beck is in today. We'll be talking with Aaron Clark. Great Bend Lady Panthers basketball season just a week away.
From the
getting underway. That's coming your way on Sports.
1590 KVGB Great Bend and 95.5 FM K238CK Hoisington.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
We had a lady that was having some severe back and hip pain, and we worked with her for about 6 to 7 weeks, and we were able to actually restore greater than 80% of her mobility, and we were able to keep her from actually needing that surgery for about 4 years.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
And welcome back into 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM for Sports Day. Aaron Clark is sitting down with head coach of the Great Bend women's basketball team, Cindy Beck. Coach, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me come in. That's great. Excited for the season.
Got the day after Thanksgiving. Feels like really now's when basketball season kicks into full gear. Your first game just a week away. Tell me a little bit about what the Lady Panthers have been doing in the offseason.
Yeah, that is a big thing. We were just talking this morning at practice, even just mentioning, like, hey, we're a week out. That week comes fast, and days go quick, trying to get everything in. I think that's the biggest part early in the season, just trying to fully be prepared for what you don't know really coming at you. Normally we look back at the season before, what teams do and things like that. Junction City has a new coach, so we're familiar with him, but a new coach there, so we're just not exactly positive on how they're going to come and attack us. So got to kind of be ready for everything in any situation. But the girls have been coming in, working hard, staying focused, and getting better every day.
So digging in a little more to the girls on the team before we look ahead to that matchup with Junction City. A good senior group this year, a lot of multi-sport athletes. What can you tell me about the ladies of the class of 2024?
We do. We have 7 seniors this season, which are all kids that are just program kids, no matter what they're involved in. They come understanding their roles, they just want to participate. They just want to be part of it, which is awesome to have. We have kids that like you said, they do multiple sports, and I think that that's a big thing for kids. That's a tough deal, especially to be a 3-sport athlete. You know, we always get the, oh, basketball's so long type mentality. And so it means a lot to me when kids are willing to come and work hard through it all. You know, the day in, day out of practice, much less the classwork on top of being gone and things like that. That can really be a lot. So we do, through the whole program, we have kids that really devote their time to that. And so it means a lot as the coach with that. But yeah, we had a great group of senior girls. They're really close together, which is kind of fun to watch. I think that's a really neat thing to see with high school kids, is kids that lean on each other, kids that cheer for each other. There's really no selfishness between them. They cheer each other on through everything they do, and that's a fun thing to be a part of.
That's awesome. And we'll go ahead and take a little look into some of the individuals in that senior class before taking a look at some of the other younger classes as well. The big story coming into this season, it's going to be your Washburn commit, all WAC player, Sadie Spray. What can we expect from Sadie after last year, and what are you expecting from her going into her senior year?
You know, I thought Sadie had a big year as a junior. You know, she really kind of broke away from what she'd done in the past. She's always been a big part of our team since she's been a freshman, but I felt like last season she really stepped up and took control of the game, understanding that leadership role, and when we struggled to score, she kind of took the ball into her own hands. I think this year her biggest struggle is going to be as more people are aware of that. And so as a team, we have to find ways to, one, either help her with that, and two, find other ways to score and other threats to have on the court. And I think we have that potential. I think it's just gain some confidence in a few, or not being afraid to put the shot up and find different ways to get looks, because I think that's only going to help all the players on the court. You know, she's going to draw a lot of attention. So we're kind of trying to find ways to use that to our advantage, and other ideas that we can kind of, whether we're playing through her or using her to draw that defensive attention to get someone else a look. So I'm excited for her. You know, she's looking strong. She's a strong leader, both vocally and just in her actions of what she does. You know, she's a gym rat, one of those kids. She spends a lot of time in the gym, which is a good thing for her, and I think she's reaping the rewards of that, which is awesome to see.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing how Sadie responds to that increased defensive focus on her. How has she been, or what have you guys been working on to make sure she can still produce on the offensive end with that increased game planning around her?
Well, I think there's two sides to that. One of the big things that Sadie gains offensively is her defense. She's got long, quick agility type stuff, gets her hands on a lot of balls. And so I think sometimes she gets those turnovers that go and get her quick, easy buckets. That's a thing that I think gets her going kind of in that offensive groove. Then on the half court set, I think that's where it gets a little tricky. And her and I have talked a lot about it. I felt like last season there were some times where she'd drive hard to the hole, wouldn't get the call, and we'd struggle getting the finish. And so we've kind of talked a little bit about being open to, I mean, the girl can jump. She's a high jumper, all-state high jumper, to where, hey, pull up in the middle of the lane and just take the shot. Trying to settle a little bit more rather than going into those 6-foot towers down low, like let's just pull up and take the shot type of look if we can't get it, or if a few aren't going. Same type of thing of, I always tell scorers and shooters, like, hey, if you can't get a couple to fall, go find an easy bucket. Maybe that's an offensive board putback, things like that, to where you can kind of get that release. You know, you miss a few and you start hesitating and you start questioning the shot a little bit. And so you just got to go find a way to get an easy bucket, which I think she's got a lot of different ways to do that. So kind of just trying to keep her mindset in that, that even keel mindset. You know, it's always don't go too high and don't go too low. You're not going to make every shot, and just keeping that good mentality through the game.
It's head coach of the Great Bend Lady Panthers, Cindy Beck. So talking a little bit about some of the opportunities afforded to the other Panthers from the attention Sadie generates. What can we expect to see from a girl like Emily Hall?
Yeah.
We saw Hall have a lot of success in the post last year at times, and I think we could see another big season from Emily this year.
That's absolutely the goal. Emily's one of those players. She's like a second coach or a coach on the court. She sees things. She understands things. She's very, very intelligent in the game of basketball, and I think that's a side that I get to see that, maybe the average fan doesn't realize. She's an undersized post player, and she does a great job with it. A big thing we've worked on her all off season, and she started to do it a little late in the season, is she's got a nice little jump shot, and trying to kind of get to where she's more comfortable in pulling that trigger, maybe a few feet out, because it is tough to play with her back to the basket against some of the opponents that she gets. And so trying to find ways to get her those looks so that she's she's a good, strong offensive threat for her, and we want to try and get her those looks, as well as getting her cuts to the basket and things like that. But, she's quick enough that if we can get a big post pulled out just a little bit, then she can go and attack. But trying to give her that best advantage that we can with that undersized position.
So Sadie and Emily, both two players who get in the scoring column a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who maybe not scoring as many points but does a lot on the court for you guys is Paige Thexton.
Yeah.
I loved watching Paige last year. She's hustling. She shows a lot of effort whenever she's on the court. What are you expecting to see from Paige fresh off of that Fort Hays State softball career?
Yeah, another exciting thing. Awesome for those kids. Paige she's an awesome role player for us, and she accepts it. She knows what she's supposed to do. She is a strong body. Again, not in the tall range, but she plays tall. She led us, if not led us, or was second maybe on the team between her and Emily in rebounds last year. You could just kind of see she sees that ball, reads it well, and would come up with a bunch of big rebounds for us. Hoping to see that again. She's also one of our better kids of working to get kids open. That's one of those roles that it's not always fun, but she does a great job with it. She accepts that, hey, I'm going to go screen somebody to get her open. And that's a big thing for us overall, just kind of understanding you got to have those people. And, we've talked too of she's got a nice little 3-point shot that she shouldn't be afraid to pull the trigger every now and then. But it is, she's one of those kids that does a great job of understanding her role and does everything she can to make our team better. And I think that's a big thing to accept, and she's done a great job with it.
Speaking of the 3-point shot, you got some nice perimeter shooting from a gal like Addie Nicholson last year. Nicholson, another multi-sport athlete, but what does she bring to the team?
She's a good kid that we're looking to hopefully get some more time out of this year. She's got a good comfort outside shot, and at the same time, defensively, we've been working a lot with her. She's quick. And having to be able to come on the court and defend people. I think that's kind of our biggest struggle overall with the size that we have to be able to defend. And so it's been a big focus for her of trying to be in those good positioning, understanding those defensive principles, and being able to find some time on the court.
And so obviously we're going to have plenty of time to cover all the girls on the team over the course of the season. Do want to turn our attention to some of the younger classes because you are going to get some meaningful minutes from all over the court. Someone who really stood out last year down the stretch for you, a guy like Deshauna Bryant. Very explosive athlete. We saw her with some impressive cuts to the basket. What are you hoping to see from Deshauna this season?
She is. She's one. I've talked with her. She's very she gets her hands on balls that you just wouldn't expect, in the type of situation. She loves to, get that quick turnover and go get the easy bucket on the other end. But our biggest thing with her that I think we can get some good, solid, quick change of speed things with her and hopefully get a couple quick buckets. I think her biggest struggle is going to be adjusting from that JV speed to a varsity speed, kind of understanding that full court. And I know that's something she's been working on. She's been focused on trying to make sure we stay in the game through that whole, we don't get to set up here 5 on offense, 5 on defense, like a football team or something. But it's kind of just adjusting to that full speed type situation. But hopefully that we can find some ways to work her in there and see some of that quick agility that she's got.
And another player who's younger for you, got some minutes last year, really coming off of a strong volleyball season, Cassie Elligood.
No, she actually decided not to play for us this season, so she's focusing on the volleyball end of things. But we have a couple other girls. Jill and Kinsey both coming back with our big defensive powerhouse there between the two of them. I thought Jill and Kinsey both have focused a lot on trying to be in that good defensive position. We give them tough assignments night in, night out, trying to kind of shut down other team scorers. So looking for good things coming back from them. On the other young side of things, we also have Alyssa McCauley as a sophomore and Denver Ringo, both coming into that varsity spot, trying to earn some time. Alyssa gives us another point guard position to help Jill out a little bit, and then we don't have to use Sadie at that point as much, which anytime we can get her out running and kicking the ball ahead to her, I think is good for our team. And Alyssa's got a nice outside shot that gives us another threat from that 3-point line, which I think can be big. I kind of see Denver as that 3-4 position, kind of like a Paige. She's just that solid player, does what you ask her to do, knock down some shots when we need her to as well. So very excited about a lot of the kids we've got coming. They're competing hard in practice, which is what you want. You want them to kind of keep coming, keep challenging each other day in, day out. So exciting things.
All right, Coach. final thoughts here. Still early in the season,
It
but
is.
what are your initial thoughts on the Lady Panthers this year?
I'm excited for us. We return a lot of experience. Our 5 starters all come back, and I'm hoping that that's one of those things, these early games, that hopefully that shows a little bit. We've gone back and looked at film from first couple games last year, and we turned the ball over a lot, which we had new girls to the court as varsity players. So I'm hoping that varsity experience shows a little bit. You're always going to be a little rusty to start, but hoping that we can kind of take control in that sense. And show that experience as we come out and have a good, strong start to our season.
That is head coach of the Great Bend women's basketball team, Cindy Beck. Coach, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Good luck on your season. Panthers season starts next Friday when Junction City comes to town. We'll have that coverage over on B1043 The Point. Stick around as we'll have more Sports Day coming up right after this.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician program. Gain the skills you need to assist pharmacists with the day-to-day demands of a pharmacy. Classes are 100% online and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at pharmtech.bartonccc.edu.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Smart stays on the road. That's why it's in your engine. Cenex Maxtron synthetic diesel engine oils give you the smartest oil for the toughest conditions. These premium oils maintain 80% of their viscosity throughout the drain interval for superior engine performance across extreme temperatures. That horizon looks good with the competition behind you. Cenex Maxtron diesel engine oils. Oil that runs smart.
Contact American Plains Co-op Fuel Department in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Packed show. In fact, went into overtime. Oh, no agriculture today. They're taking today off. So, American Countryside with Andrew McCrae, an encore presentation from earlier this morning. Okay, Hoisington, Nemaha Central, noon tomorrow. They've moved that up an hour. So, might check the schedules. What's going on? 8-man, let's see, 3A, 2A, 1A, and 6-man will kick off at noon. 8-man Division I game in Newton at 10:30, and the Division II game at 2, and then 6A, 5A, 4A remaining at 1 o'clock. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Go Cardinals. Wouldn't that? Zach Baird says they win the championship. We're bringing the whole team in here next Wednesday. Yeah.
Fill the halls.